A lot of people think emotional availability is about what someone says, the right words, the right level of vulnerability, talking about their feelings. But emotional availability isn't something you hear first. It's something you feel deeply in the body. You feel it in how consistent they are, and how they handle closeness and intimacy, and how they respond when things aren't perfect. And sometimes the clearest sign someone is emotionally available is the absence of confusion. There's less guessing, less tension, less emotional chasing, emotional labor. And if you're used to intensity equaling intimacy, that can feel very unfamiliar. But unfamiliar in a really good way. Unfamiliar meaning that there's a feeling of safety in the absence of challenge, chaos, and trying to figure out what is the meaning of it all in this relationship. Being able to settle into your inner trust and being able to settle into the peace that two people are creating together and the clarity around what is beginning to form within the potential in a very honest, real, compassionate way of mutual self-respect. One of the first signs that you can tell someone is emotionally available is the relief you feel in your own nervous system. You're not constantly scanning. You're not constantly bracing and getting ready for them to create an excuse to cause distance between you. You're not trying to interpret the mixed signals. And you can be yourself without monitoring their reactions or adjusting how you react to things to make them feel more comfortable. Your body isn't leaning forward trying to secure a connection because you're constantly worried that the connection is going to be lost. And that shift matters because emotional availability isn't just someone's capacity to talk about their feelings. It's their capacity to stay emotionally present without creating instability when there are feelings and emotions that come up between them, between you, in the union. Availability feels like steadiness, not constant intensity. Emotionally available people are consistent, not perfect, not intense all the time, but predictable in a reassuring way. They follow through. They communicate changes. They don't disappear when things start to deepen. And if your nervous system is used to unpredictability equal high passion, consistency can feel flat at first. There is less adrenaline, less urgency, less emotional guessing. But consistency is what allows intimacy to grow. It creates the conditions where your body stops preparing for loss. Consistency isn't boring. It's regulating. And to be regulated in the presence of someone you're attracted to, that's sexy. Another sign of availability is how someone responds to needs. Emotionally available people don't make your needs feel like pressure. They may not meet every need perfectly, but they stay engaged. They don't withdraw because you express emotion. They don't label closeness as neediness, and they don't create a distance when things become real, because availability isn't about perfection. It's about capacity. Capacity to stay present when connection requires effort. That willingness matters more than flawless behavior. Here's one of the biggest markers. Emotionally available people don't disappear when things get uncomfortable. They don't shut down at the first sign of tension. They don't punish vulnerability with distance. They don't treat conflict like failure. they repair. Not perfectly, but willingly. And repair is the foundation of a secure relationship, because intimacy isn't built on never hurting each other. It's built on the ability to come back, to have that repair, and to learn the lessons from going through the experience together, and to come out stronger, more compassionate, less judgmental, and more loving towards each other on the other side. So here's what I found confusing and where my personal blind spot was. Emotionally available people can at first sometimes feel less exciting, less passionate, and not because they lack that depth or passion, but because they lack the chaos. And if your nervous system learns that love feels like uncertainty, intensity becomes familiar as passion, as chemistry. So steadiness can register as that lack of chemistry. But often what's missing isn't attraction, it's activation. And learning the difference between those two gives you the power to change who you choose. As you begin to recognize emotional availability, to feel it in the body, your attraction patterns change. You stop chasing potential. You stop interpreting distance as depth. You stop confusing emotional unavailability with mystery. You start asking different questions. Like, do I feel calm with this person? Do they stay when things begin to get real? Can we repair? And you move from trying to be chosen to evaluating capacity. And that shift is less dramatic, but far more sustainable, because now you're choosing connection that can actually grow. I'd like to offer you this short somatic reflection to help you bring this down into the body and really feel it. Think of someone who felt emotionally inconsistent. Notice your body. Was there tension, urgency, this sense of reaching? Now think of someone who feels steady. Notice that difference. Is there more breath, more space, less monitoring, less compare and despair? That contrast often reveals more than the behavior that you're seeing could. Your body recognizes emotional availability in someone else before your mind can explain it to you. If this conversation resonated, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What's one sign of emotional availability you've noticed in your own life, in your own relationships? Because learning to recognize emotional availability is one of the most important parts of relational healing and growing into deeper relationships. It helps us transform this place of chasing and trying to make something happen to a place of really being able to choose whether you stay, whether you repair, whether you go, and what is going to be best for you in the movement forward of what you're looking for, and what will be kindest to one of the most important emotional relationships you have, and that is the emotional relationship and the emotional compassion and grace that you give to yourself. And that power of choice, that power of understanding that you're not held prisoner to what someone else wants, or what society wants, or what your friends and family have, what they've decided to do. That what's necessarily emotionally available to someone else, or what they've allowed or put up with being emotionally available, doesn't have to be your story. And you get to rewrite this every single day. What you found emotionally available, what was good enough for you in the past, what was good enough yesterday. If it's not good enough for you today, then you get to sit with that and be with that and claim that. I love you. Thank you for being here. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today's conversation. It helps to push all this support and guidance out to other people that you think may also enjoy it. And please become a member of the community, hang out with me more, give me a like, but also hit the subscribe button if you want to hang out with me more. I go live several times a week, and we just work together. We hang out together. We take poetry breaks together. I put chill music on, and this is the part of the channel that I think is so important in that self connection and being able to be in self connection, but you can also have the connection of others at the same time. So I will see you there, and there's replays of those lives that I do, those work lives and poetry breaks and connecting while we focus together. There's replays of them on the channel, so check them out. And if it's on your vibe, then I hope to see you there in live, in person very soon.